Another happy Monday. I hope the 101st Monday in a row if you've done the whole thing. So, welcome back. Today's video topic is to be decided. Believe it or not, we're going to find it as we go. Now, I know I've talked a lot about a lot of different topics on this video series, for that way, video series. And, one of the things that comes up a lot is the consistency piece. And I think that's important in everything. It is interesting when I look at my life and the life of others, and when you have conversations with people, how most people will acknowledge that consistency is one of the biggest contributing factors to really any real type of success in life. And yet, when people are failing at their goals, they are often so blinded to an honest answer to their consistency question. It's this weird thing of, like, when I help people with business, one of the biggest things I have to deal with business coaching and training is people just following through on the homework that we agree on or that I recommend from a consistency level. They can often go home and do a single thing, like when we're working on a values statement and mission statements, and maybe creating a script to use for how to communicate who they are, what their goals are, and who they want to communicate themselves as to the world. Like, that seems to be easier, despite that being deeply personal, than, okay, now with that information, you need to go talk to tons of people about the work you do and try to get work. Or you need to post on social media all the time, or you need to spend X amount of dollars all the time for marketing. And this happens all the time clinically too. Yes, you need to do your sleep routine every night. Yes, you need to do your exercise all the time. Yes, you need to do your gratitude all the time. Why? Because you're trying to change a part of yourself. What I find are two things. People get one little success, so they stop the whole thing. They're like, it works, and they stop and expect somehow the rest of it just to keep working, despite not putting in the effort anymore. Or I see with people, they're like, this is hard. And the easier option is just to stay who you were before you attempted the change. And both are kind of sad in their own way, because people are looking for results more than they're looking for lifestyle change. And the reality is, the better life is on the other side of just consistent changes, or the same change consistently. If you want to be a different person, you have to be a different person. It's hard to do. If you want to be a great guitar player, you have to practice with the greats, and you have to play it a lot, all the time. If you want to do anything well, you have to do a lot of it, a lot of it, a lot of times. And you do see these overnight successes and these lucky people, and luck matters, but even then, it's still pretty rare that luck's the only factor. Usually people were still doing something before they got lucky, so to speak. So, an actor that gets lucky gets a big break. They still chose to pursue acting, right? They still did the hard thing, and they got the lucky result. Harrison Ford just recently, I think, accepted a Lifetime Achievement Award and mentioned that he struggled for 15 years before landing Star Wars. And, lucky, sure. But 15 years of staying with that. He stayed consistent at his craft for 15 years. And here's the thing. You have to decide, do I want to be a different person? Do I want this even if it kills me? It's dramatic language. But if I want to be the best version of myself, I have to practice something. And I have to risk it being potentially even wrong. But what people get stuck with is they're where they're at now. And they identify, it's this old adage of better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Right? People are like, I know this life sucks, or this experience sucks, or I'm not getting this result. My business isn't going here. My mental health isn't going there. My relationships aren't going this way. My hobbies aren't going this way. But at least I'm not that guy. And at least I'm not that guy. And at least I'm not over there. And that type of comparison can be helpful at times to practice gratitude. But what we do is we use it oftentimes to motivate ourselves to be in favor of resistance and in favor of the demonic and in favor of these oppressive ways that we're keeping ourselves down. It's a voice in the back of your head that says, you're fine where you're at. This is like an infinite balancing act, right? Of, are you good enough just the way you are? No. We all know we can be better. Does that mean you're not good enough as a person? So we get into identity and personhood here, and the answer to that is overcomplicating it, isn't it? You have value where you're at. You have potential. Can you take the good truth about yourself and who you could be and take that good and apply it to the now for the future results that you want in the life that you want? You can do it. So the better question is, will you do it? And this is where people get stuck. And I don't know why we all get stuck there, but there's this limiting belief that says you're better off staying where you're at. And it's comfortable. It is more comfortable to eat the late night snack and to play the video game and to just not take a chance or to not ask that person out or to not enter into the competition or to just not pick up the hobby in the first place because I don't want to. So we often just get stuck in these unaccomplished cycles because we're accomplished enough. Most people seem to want to sit in an expectant pain that they can tolerate versus a mysterious future of hope and joy. The irony is that you talk to anyone who's made it and they'll all say the same thing. Like, the answer is on the other side. You just go for it. So it's interesting when you look back and you can obviously be like, yeah, do the thing that's healthy for you and you'll be happier. Do the hard work and you'll be happier. But we take the short-term happiness because we're depressed or we don't know who we are. We're anxious. Most of this comes down to not knowing who we are as people and not believing ourselves and believing in ourselves rather and what we're made for. And we believe a comforting lie that says that you can wither away just tonight. The problem is we do that every single night. And then you're 50, 60, 70 years old. And what have you done? So just move forward. You know what back is. People say, oh, I don't know where to go. Stop with that. You just don't know which of the many options you should choose from. That's not how life works. Life is not a game of what's the right choice. Life is much more of a game of don't make bad choices. And with the millions of potential good choices, go and do the best job at that good choice. Not that's the right one. Sometimes we have right decisions. Oftentimes we don't. And we have a lot of good decisions we can make. So just pick one and do the decision well. Don't make a good decision. Be good in the decision, right? That stupid aphorism that you can adjust how you want. You get what I'm saying? Use your good within the decisions that you are making. Don't worry too much about a good decision. Because if you stack a good lifestyle and a good character and a good person, you'll just be good wherever you go from a moralistic perspective. And if your work ethic is good, then you'll be good at the things that you do wherever you go because you're building this internal thing. The external doesn't matter. That's why people who build businesses and then go bankrupt can build another business because they know what they need to do it. That's why you see people who are really successful who are also really good at other hobbies because they know what it takes to be successful, right? That's why you have someone who can be an athlete and an actor, or you have someone that can be a professional in this field and then they compete in a sport and you're like, how are you doing that? Because they know the process to be successful. There's no secrets. This isn't gatekept. It's just put in the effort. It's pretty much all it is. There are some minutiae in there, but most people just don't put in a lot of effort. They work their butt off frying their brains because they jump from one goal to the next, but most people don't just stay on one thing and try to make life better, or they don't stay on the healing journey long enough to see sustainable growth. They see one little glimmer of it and they quit, or they celebrate. You know, It's like having a glass of whiskey after to celebrate being a month sober. It's like you're missing the point. So anyway, I'll call it there. Sure. Happy Monday. Happy 101 episodes. If you're new, great news. There's 100 more that you can go back and watch. If you have a long car ride ahead, this is all in a podcast on YouTube Podcasts. You can just playlist it and have the time of your life, especially the first videos where I had audio messed up and you can just hear me scratching on the table and the table creaking, and it's horrendous to do. Enjoy. So that's that. Happy Monday, and see you all next week.